Rhine Valley, 1945. The sky screams with the roar of engines, a deadly ballet of American Mustangs and German fighters. P-51 Mustangs dive and weave, their silver bodies glinting in the sun as they engage the enemy. Luftwaffe fighters, dark silhouettes against the bright sky, rise to meet the challenge, a desperate defense. Below, the earth erupts in fiery defiance, anti-aircraft guns spewing black smoke into the heavens. Trails of smoke mark the paths of fallen planes, grim reminders of the deadly dance above. The Rhine Valley echoes with the sounds of war, a landscape scarred by conflict and shadowed by death. Inside the cockpit, young pilot Hans Lerche grips the controls of his Messerschmitt Bf 109. The sky is a canvas of smoke and vapor trails as he skillfully navigates the aerial battlefield. Lerche's determined eyes scan the horizon, seeking out his next target amidst the chaos. His fighter roars through the sky, a deadly predator in a dance of destruction and survival. With a burst of fire, an American fighter spirals down, another victory marked in the deadly sky. Lerche's face is grim, his youthful features hardened by the realities of war. In the bright sky over the Rhine Valley, Lerche's plane is hit, a plume of black smoke erupting from the engine. Lerche struggles with the controls, his face grim as he fights to maintain altitude. The ground rushes up, the picturesque valley floor now a threat. Smoke billows, obscuring the once clear blue sky as the plane spirals downwards. Lerche's desperate battle against gravity intensifies, every second a fight for survival. Inside the fighter, alarms scream, filling the cockpit with dread as Lerche braces himself, his face a mask of grim resolve. The aircraft shudders violently, a metal beast wounded and dying in the sky. Lerche's eyes reflect steely determination as he fights the controls, a dance with death in the clouds. His hands move with practiced precision, each action a step closer to escaping the metal coffin. A final, desperate glance around, and Lerche prepares to eject, a leap into the unknown. Lerche struggles to eject as his aircraft is crippled, smoke and debris filling the sky. The parachute bursts open just in time, a fragile beacon against the backdrop of destruction. Below, the aircraft plummets, a fiery trail marking its descent towards the Rhine Valley. The plane crashes violently into a field, a twisted heap of metal amidst the serene landscape. Lerche crashes into a muddy field, the impact jarring his wounded body. He lies still, the earth cold against his cheek, the scent of soil filling his nostrils. Blood mixes with dirt and oil, painting a grim mask across his face. Each shallow breath is a battle, a struggle against the pain and the mud. Under the vast sky, American soldiers advance warily across the open field, their figures stark against the horizon. Sergeant Miller leads, his weathered face a mask of determination as he scans the landscape for any sign of threat. Weapons are raised, glinting in the sunlight, a silent promise of defense against the unknown dangers ahead. Each step is measured, cautious, as they approach Lerche, the weight of their mission heavy on their shoulders. The air is thick with tension, every rustle of grass, every distant bird call amplified in the silence. Lerche looms in the distance, a silent, watchful sentinel, its secrets hidden behind a facade of tranquility. In the open field, Lerche raises his hands, a gesture of surrender against the vast expanse. Fear grips Lerche as his eyes reflect the weight of his apprehension, his face contorted in a grimace. Lerche's surrender speaks volumes. Lerche's posture communicates desperation in the exposed field. Sergeant Miller's commanding voice cuts through the open field, his presence a stark declaration of control. Soldiers fan out, their movements precise as they encircle Lerche, the air thick with unspoken tension. Two soldiers advance cautiously, their eyes sharp and alert, scanning Lerche for any hidden threat. Their hands move with practiced efficiency, a thorough pat-down revealing nothing but the chill of the air. Lerche remains still, his face unreadable as the search intensifies. Every gesture scrutinized. The field holds its breath, the silence amplifying the gravity of the moment as the search concludes. In a vast field, Lerche grimaces as rough hands search him. His face tightens, enduring the soldier's harsh pat-down. The indignity stings as much as the rough treatment. Each touch reinforces his helplessness in the open field. His eyes reflect a burning resentment for his captors. Under the open sky, Sergeant Miller kneels, a shadow of concern etched on his face as he assesses Lerche's injuries. His expression hardens with urgency, a silent command in his eyes as he recognizes the severity of the wounds. With swift, decisive motion, Sergeant Miller signals desperately for a medic, his call a stark plea in the quiet field. The vast field stretches around them, a silent witness to the unfolding drama of survival and immediate need. Under the vast sky, Private Johnson arrives on the field, his shadow stretching long across the grass. Lerche lies injured, his face etched with pain under the harsh sunlight. Johnson kneels beside Lerche, his movements betraying a surprising gentleness. With careful hands, Johnson begins to treat Lerche's wounds, a stark contrast to the battlefield. The field stretches out around them, a silent witness to this unexpected act of compassion. The air hangs heavy with unspoken words as Johnson tends to Lerche's injuries. In the expansive field, Lerche's brow furrows deeply, his eyes fixed on Johnson with a blend of confusion and suspicion. He had braced himself for the worst, steeling his mind against torture and unimaginable pain. But Johnson's unexpected kindness throws Lerche completely off balance, shaking his resolve. Doubt clouds his features as he struggles to reconcile the anticipated brutality with the offered solace. The vast field seems to amplify his uncertainty, the sunlight casting long shadows that mirror his inner turmoil. Inside the rumbling military truck, Lerche sits bandaged and silent, a shadow of his former self. Two stoic American soldiers flank him, their watchful eyes betraying no emotion. The truck bounces along a rough road, each jolt a stark reminder of Lerche's captivity. Lerche stares blankly ahead, lost in thought, as the landscape blurs past the truck's window. Inside the cramped military truck, dust motes dance in the dim light, highlighting the palpable tension. Private Davis and Private Wilson sit rigidly, their knees almost touching, a silent testament to their unease. Their eyes dart nervously, avoiding contact as they speak in hushed whispers, sharing unspoken fears. Lerche looms silently in the corner, his presence a heavy weight in the already stifling atmosphere. Each breath held, each glance averted, paints a vivid portrait of dread in the confines of the truck. Inside the rumbling military truck, Lerche strains to decipher the soldiers' hushed conversation. Fragmented words drift to him, tales of distant families and the brutal realities of war. Each snippet paints a vivid picture of loss and longing amidst the chaos. Lerche's brow furrows, piecing together the fragments of their shared humanity. The truck rumbles on, carrying its cargo of soldiers and their unspoken fears. The weight of their words settles heavily in the confined space, a shared burden. Dust billows as a truck screeches to a halt at the bustling American field hospital. Wounded soldiers, pale and grim, are swiftly unloaded onto waiting stretchers. The air crackles with urgency as medics rush to and fro, their faces etched with concern. A constant stream of pain flows through the hospital, a stark reminder of war's toll. Bandages stain crimson, stark against the sterile white of the field hospital tents. Hope and despair intertwine in the eyes of those waiting, a silent plea for salvation. Lerche enters the chaotic field hospital, overwhelmed by the sight of hurried doctors and nurses. The air buzzes with urgent activity as medical staff swarm around the wounded, a symphony of suffering. Each corner reveals a scene of desperate care, where life hangs precariously in the balance. The wounded cry for help in the crowded space, their faces etched with pain and fear. The field hospital stands as a stark testament to the brutality of war. In a bustling field hospital, Captain Roberts, a doctor, begins his examination of Lerche, his expression serious. Captain Roberts leans in, inquiring in fluent German, "How are you feeling?" Lerche's eyes widen in surprise, caught off guard by the unexpected question. Lerche responds, his voice laced with surprise, "You speak German?" The field hospital fades into background as Lerche and Captain Roberts engage. Inside the field hospital, Captain Roberts, weary but kind, speaks to Lerche as sunlight streams through canvas. Dust motes dance in the air, catching the light as Roberts's gentle eyes reflect a life before war. "You will receive proper medical care," Roberts assures, his voice a soothing balm in the chaotic tent. A silent promise hangs in the air, a fragile hope amidst the harsh realities of their surroundings. Inside the field hospital, Lerche lies wounded in a bed, his face pale against the stark white sheets. Nearby, Private O'Connell rests, his bandages a stark reminder of the brutal battlefield. The air is thick with the smell of antiseptic, a silent testament to the ongoing struggle. Exhaustion etched on their faces, both soldiers find a moment's respite amidst the chaos. Inside the bustling field hospital, tension hangs heavy in the air. O'Connell's gaze is fixed on Lerche, his eyes burning with pure, unadulterated hatred, his face contorted with disgust. O'Connell's pent-up emotions threaten to explode. In a display of utter contempt, he spits on the floor. The spittle lands near Lerche's bed, a clear message of scorn. Inside the bustling field hospital, Lerche shrinks back, bracing himself. His eyes dart around, filled with a mixture of fear and anticipation. The air is thick with tension as he expects violence to erupt. Captain Roberts barks an order, his voice cutting through the chaos. "O'Connell, stand down," Captain Roberts shouts, his command echoing. The scene hangs in the balance, the threat palpable in the crowded space. Inside the bustling field hospital, Captain Roberts stands, his uniform bearing the marks of battle and command. His gaze is fixed and unwavering, meeting O'Connell's eyes with a controlled intensity. His voice rings out, carrying the weight of his conviction. "We are soldiers, not barbarians." A stern expression underscores his unwavering stance on honor and duty amidst chaos. "Lerche must be treated with respect," he commands, his words a stark reminder of humanity. Lerche lies in his cot, eyes fixed on the canvas above, lost in thought. The field hospital hums with the generator's drone, a stark contrast to the moans of the wounded. The day's horrors replay in Lerche's mind, each moment a broken, haunting image. He relives the chaos, seeking solace in the dim light and the sounds of suffering. Fluorescent lights buzz above rows of cots in the field hospital, casting a sterile glow on the wounded. A young soldier stares blankly at the ceiling, his body swathed in bandages, his gaze unfocused and distant. His eyes fixate on a childlike drawing of the American flag, taped precariously to the stark wall. He remembers the gentle medic, shared cigarettes, quiet talks of home, a stark contrast to the war's hate. A wave of confusion washes over him, the kindness received clashing violently with years of instilled hatred. Jaw clenched tight, he struggles to reconcile the dissonance, the weight of war heavy on his young face. Days drift by in the field hospital as Lerche begins to heal. Watching, American soldiers rush past, their faces lined with exhaustion. Medical staff work tirelessly, their determination unwavering. Lerche observes, a silent witness to their relentless efforts. Inside the bustling field hospital, a symphony of urgent activity unfolds under the bright daylight. Faces etched with determination, medical staff move with practiced precision, a ballet of healing. A quiet corner reveals a nurse's gentle touch, a moment of solace amidst the chaos. Their dedication shines, transcending borders, as they treat each patient with unwavering care. Compassion radiates from their eyes, a silent promise to alleviate suffering, no matter the cost. An unwavering commitment binds them, a beacon of hope in a world torn by conflict and despair. In the field hospital, O'Connell lies wounded, bandages stark against his skin, awaiting a visitor. Lerche approaches, a silent question hanging in the air between the two soldiers. A flicker of understanding softens O'Connell's gaze, replacing the animosity. The tension eases, a fragile truce forming in the sterile environment of the hospital. Sunlight bathes the field hospital as O'Connell sits on a cot, a worn photograph softening his gaze. Back home, in America, we have this little farm, a place I built with my own two hands, he says softly. My wife always wanted a garden. Roses, mostly, said they reminded her of her mother. O'Connell reminisces. That's the dream. A simple life, filled with love and laughter. A life worth fighting for, he concludes, hopeful. Lerche leans forward, his hardened features softening in the sterile field hospital. A flicker of understanding sparks in his eyes, a bridge forming with his former enemy. The harsh reality of war fades, replaced by a shared recognition of youth. The weight of conflict lifts momentarily, revealing the common bond of humanity. In that instant, The sterile room transforms into a space of fragile connection. Two young men stand on common ground, united by the tragedy of a terrible war. In the field hospital, Captain Roberts looms over Lerche's bed, the weight of news heavy in his stance. Bandages conceal Lerche's wounds, but his eyes burn with sharp intelligence as Roberts speaks. "I have some news, Lerche. You are to be transferred," Roberts declares, his tone leaving no room for argument. Lerche's surprise is evident. "Transferred? Where to, sir?" Roberts' reply is stark. "To a prisoner of war camp." In the field hospital, Lerche sits on a cot, his gaze fixed on the floor, a portrait of utter dejection. His shoulders slump, each line of his body conveying deep disappointment and weariness. The sterile environment offers no solace as Lerche grapples with unspoken burdens. He had started to feel safe here, a refuge amidst the chaos of war. Among the wounded and weary, he found a sense of belonging. Now threatened, the weight of his disillusionment is palpable, a stark contrast to the hope he once held. Lerche arrives at the POW camp, the stark surroundings a silent testament to captivity and despair. The air crackles with unspoken tension, a palpable sense of hostility radiating from every corner. A lone figure enters the camp. Lerche's face shows no emotion. Guards watch with hard eyes. The sun beats down on the desolate scene. Every shadow seems to whisper of confinement and lost hope. Under the harsh daylight, new prisoners enter the POW camp, their faces etched with uncertainty. He moves through the processing line, stripped of his former identity, his eyes reflecting a mix of fear and resignation. The barracks loom, a stark, uninviting structure against the vast landscape, promising little comfort. Inside, he is swallowed by a sea of faces, a silent brotherhood of German prisoners, each lost in their thoughts. He finds his assigned bunk, a small space offering a sliver of solitude amidst the collective captivity. Inside the dim POW barracks, Lerche sits alone on his bunk, a stark figure amidst the oppressive atmosphere. Hardened soldiers encircle him, their faces grim, each etched with an unwavering belief in the Nazi cause. The air is thick with unspoken tension, their collective gaze a palpable weight on Lerche. Every shadow seems to whisper of confinement and ideological struggle, a silent battleground of wills. Inside the POW barracks, shadows stretch long, isolating each prisoner in their own world of thought. The air is thick with unspoken words, each man grappling with silent burdens. A lone figure sits on his bunk, the dim light casting his face in sharp relief. His eyes reflect a deep sense of isolation, a chasm between him and his comrades. He yearns to share the shifting tides within him, but the words remain locked in his heart. The silence of the barracks amplifies his solitude, a heavy cloak of unspoken change. Lerche surveys the Spartan POW barracks, a stark contrast to the world outside, observing the prisoners' living conditions. American guards patrol, their faces etched with weariness and indifference, a silent watch over the confined. Isolated instances of harsh treatment flare, stark reminders of captivity's grim reality within the barracks. Lerche's helplessness is palpable as he witnesses the guards' actions, trapped between observation and intervention. Inside the stark POW barracks, a quiet observation begins, hinting at shifting perceptions. Kindness flickers amidst the harsh environment, a subtle challenge to deeply held beliefs. Fairness prevails, a stark contrast to the expected animosity, reshaping understanding. The emerging realization dawns. The Americans are not the enemy, as once believed. A profound shift in perspective, transforming the POW barracks into a crucible of change. Lerche sits on his bunk in the POW barracks, lost in thought. A worn book lies open in his hands, unread. Barred windows cast stripes of light across the room, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the stale air. He turns a page, the sound echoing softly in the silence, but his eyes remain unfocused, distant. His brow furrows as inner turmoil begins to brew, a silent battle waged within the confines of his mind. Doubts cloud his mind as he starts to question everything he once believed. The weight of his doubts hangs heavy in the air, a palpable tension filling the confined space. In the stark POW barracks, a prisoner's eyes dart around, a seed of an idea forming. Hesitantly, he whispers to a fellow inmate, gauging his reaction with a cautious glance. His voice barely audible above the din, he shares a fragment of his plan, testing the waters. A flicker of hope ignites in his eyes as he observes the other prisoner's thoughtful expression. Another prisoner leans in, drawn by the hushed tones, curiosity etched on his face. A clandestine meeting begins to take shape, fueled by shared desperation and a glimmer of hope. Sunlight paints bars on the floor of the POW barracks, shadows stretching like grasping fingers across the crowded room. A palpable tension hangs in the air, thick with the weight of confinement and unspoken resentments. Eyes, hard and unforgiving, bore into him, their contempt a silent, cutting accusation. A flicker of curiosity sparks in the depths of some eyes, a fragile ember in the darkness. The weight of 100 stares, a silent judgment, presses down on him in the stifling heat. Inside the POW barracks, Lerche and his fellow prisoners huddle, their faces reflecting hope and deep uncertainty. The war's echoes fade as they cling to each other, seeking solace in shared anticipation. An announcement crackles, promising repatriation to Germany, cutting through the heavy silence. Murmurs sweep the room, a collective sigh of relief mixing with lingering apprehension. Hope flickers in their weary eyes as they dare to dream of home and a life beyond the barracks. Dust swirls around Lerche as he stands at the POW camp gates, his silhouette stark against the harsh daylight. A storm of anticipation brews within him, visible in the tight set of his jaw and the restless energy in his stance. Lerche shifts his weight, the ground beneath him mirroring the instability of his hopes and fears. The imposing camp gates loom, a stark reminder of the lives contained within and the uncertain future. His eyes scan the camp, searching, yearning, a complex mix of emotions mirrored in their depths. Sunlight flares off the barbed wire fence, a stark cage against the bright day. Near the gate, I stand with a worn duffel bag, a silent testament to survival. A mix of emotions wars within me, gratitude and a piercing sadness. Freedom beckons, but the faces of those who showed kindness linger. My heart aches with the bittersweet knowledge of lives intertwined. I prepare to leave behind the people who changed my life within these walls. Lerche steps onto German soil, a land scarred by devastation. His homeland unrecognizable. Ruins stretch as far as the eye can see, silent witnesses to a nation's agony. He walks through the rubble, the weight of destruction pressing down on him. Faces of his people, etched with suffering, line his path, their eyes reflecting despair. Lerche pauses, a solitary figure amidst the ruins, bearing witness to his nation's pain. The air is thick with the dust of shattered dreams, a somber testament to loss and ruin. Under a relentless sun, a war-torn landscape unfolds, revealing the extent of devastation. Amidst the rubble, he stands, a solitary figure confronted by the harsh reality of war. The weight of deceit crushes him as the ruins whisper tales of broken promises and shattered dreams. He is alone with his thoughts, a silent testament to the lies that led to this desolation. Bathed in the German sun, Lerche stands in a vibrant field of wildflowers. Years of wisdom are etched onto his face, a testament to his journey. His aged eyes sparkle with a youthful idealism, undimmed by time. He inhales deeply, the scent of wildflowers filling his lungs. A gentle breeze rustles through the field, whispering tales of peace. Lerche stands as a beacon, dedicating his life to understanding. Under the vast German sky, he stands on the stage, sunlight illuminating his figure. His voice, amplified, echoes, carrying weight across the open space. He gestures with open hands, a beacon of hope and reconciliation. Faces in the crowd, etched with emotion, listen with rapt attention. Tears glisten as his story weaves through the crowd, touching hearts. He stands tall, his message of forgiveness resonating deeply within the crowd. Years later, elderly Hans Lerche stands in the Rhine Valley, his face a roadmap of time and trials. Sunlight kisses the gentle curves of the valley as he gazes upon the tranquil, forgiving landscape. A ghost of a smile plays on his lips, a quiet testament to life's enduring strength. His eyes reflect the peacefulness of the valley, a serene acceptance after years of storms.